9 mountains and 8 seas make one world. 1,000 worlds make one chiliocosm. 1 chiliocosm to the power of 3, and there's nothing I can't cut.
Alright guys, I talked in my previous video when the official Naruto website gave us the Mitsuki panel page spoiler for the upcoming chapter 6 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, who we know as of the recording of this video will be coming out either a day or two according to the time zone or country, place, wherever you're residing at. Will be coming a day or two earlier than usual as the 20th that we normally get the chapters per month. So either the 18th or the 19th. I talked in the previous videos of one of the highly anticipated moments, highly anticipated conversations for me going into chapter 6 was definitely Boruto and Shikamaru. And I can say, even with the release of the spoiler, understanding we have the Sage Mode Mitsuki confronting Boruto, Boruto's gonna have to let us know, like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? Hey, somebody gonna have to get their toes stepped on this chapter. So it's fun to be a real gritty chapter, but it still didn't take away from my anticipations for Boruto and Shikamaru's conversation. It kind of changed the trajectory. It changed it in a way so that I didn't want to completely scrap the idea, but I'm going to approach it from a different angle, right? Because we still don't know, like I said, as the recording of this video, if even will we see Mitsuki and Boruto see each other face to face, whether that be at the start of the chapter, whether that be at the end of the chapter. They focus throughout the chapter, maybe on things that the Shinju are doing, maybe on things that Kawaki is doing, or maybe even, like I anticipate, however Shikamaru is taking the business or just the kerfuffle and all of the things that have been going around and throughout the village, how everybody is reacting, how everybody is handling the news, or just moving forward based off of the prior chapters and prior events. We do not know, even with all of that being said, whether it's a cliffhanger with Boruto seeing Sage Mode Mitsuki or it's page 17 out of 43 pages in the manga chapter. One thing I can say for sure is that this does a lot for the potential meeting with both Boruto and Shikamaru, whether it be prior or whether it be after the meeting, because one thing that people have to note is the constant questioning that we've seen from certain key figures and key characters since the start of 2 Blue Vortex in terms or in regards of, you know, the true essence of Kawaki's nature, the true essence of their feelings, the true understanding of the things going on around them. We see in instances where Mitsuki questioning, is Kawaki truly his son? We see Himawari questioning and also reassuring herself that Naruto is still alive and she can feel his presence despite not understanding how, somewhere out there. And she knows for a fact that there's something going on deeper with Boruto and she wants to truly help him, i.e. Kawaki, in her brain. Now, with everything that has been going down, especially with the events of last chapter, Shikamaru is going to have to go through one of two phases. Either he's going to have a come into Jesus moment and slap his head like light bulb, like, dang, bro, not only has Sarada been beating the same horse for the last 3 years, but 3 years ago, we assigned Sarada, along with Sumire, being the only ones who could possibly kill Ada. Why? Because they aren't affected by her jutsu. So let's go into this whole let's go back to the drawing board. Step 1. How many people still think Boruto is Boruto? Sarada, Sumire. Okay, how many people aren't affected by Ada? Sarada, Sumire. You know what I'm saying? It could be as simple as that, right? Just in terms of, we understand people seeing baby Boruto will still say, oh, it's Kawaki. But in regards of, you know, situations like Sasuke and Amato, where certain things build onto new experiences, build onto, you know what I'm saying, certain doubts that have already been placed, as opposed to being forced to believe something that you already, you know what I'm saying, have a pretty good idea because, duh, it's your own memory. So with that regard, all of these things playing out and being laid out in front for Shikamaru, on top of the fact that Boruto protected the village, Boruto bodied cold. Now Boruto is back. Not only is he back, but he's not on smoke, but now Mitsuki is on smoke. And how is he going to handle the situation, right? Mitsuki understands Boruto and his whole character, right? Whether he thinking it's Kawaki, whether he thinking it's Boruto, the same premise is there, being the moon to his sun, right? So in terms of that regard, once he cross blows and we understand the situation where we see, okay, a shinobi will be able to truly come to understand each other once they, you know, come to cross blows. Sage Mode Mitsuki being strong enough to face Boruto is a whole question and a whole nother day. Mitsuki training with Kawaki over the past 3 years is something that we should really be looking at, right? Because then Mitsuki will be able to have a better understanding, which in turn would influence Mitsuki and his demeanor, because he would know, hypothetically speaking, based off of the last 3 years, how Kawaki, carries himself in sparring matches, in fights, in scuffles, and things of that nature, things along that degree. Mitsuki will understand that connecting force, that connecting bond that he would normally feel or normally be able to, remember whenever he clashes blows with Kawaki, and especially clashing blows with Boruto. Now, clashing blows with Boruto in this instance will lead us to one of two things, right? Obviously, which I believe most likely be the case, interruption, but a realization, especially on Mitsuki's part, a realization, because why? Boruto is going to be fighting without any killing intent. But even despite Boruto not fighting without any killing intent, the minute their chakra clashes and connects, Mitsuki is going to have to feel something. And it's going to have to be something real, right? And it's going to have to be something like, dang, boy, I knew this was the deal. Like, my boy Boruto is like, he's been there, done there. Like, you feel me? It's going to be something, you guys kind of get the straw that I'm grasping at. But connecting all of this back to Shikamaru, everything is going to be falling in line to where there's so many anomalies going on based off of how things are actually supposed to be perceived, based off of the perception of Boruto. There's too many anomalies going on that Shikamaru is going to have no choice but to sit there and question, okay, Boruto, what's going on? Like, what? Walk me through from the minute you left the village to right now, because at this point, there's too many unanswered things going on, and there's too many questions, and you are so centered, focused in the middle of everything that I have no choice but to at the very least, hear out what you have to say, as opposed to treat you as an on-site enemy, because that would be decreasing his ability to obtain an opportunity to gain even more knowledge based off of the current situation, ultimately for the well-being of the village. So yes, I do believe this Mitsuki versus Boruto, despite it shaking things up, is going to play into the hands of Boruto eventually meeting Shikamaru this chapter, and Shikamaru putting all of the pieces of the puzzle together. Like, okay, Mitsuki attacks Boruto. We know how bloodlust and Mitsuki's been over Boruto. However, the fight ends and both of them still being okay. Something's just not right there, because how I remember Boruto to be, like, if something's getting in his way, he's gonna go ahead and go for the killing blow in terms of Kawaki, right? But in Mitsuki's defense, in Mitsuki's case, he's going to be like, whenever I clash flips with Boruto, whenever we change blows, whenever we connect punches and things of that nature, I feel something different. I feel something warmer. I feel something reminiscent, as opposed to what I would think I would feel whenever I clash with Kawaki. Now, moving that aside, all of that, right, adding on to the fact that, okay, Sarada has been beating the same dead horse for the last 3 years. Not only that, we see both Sarada and Sumire are the only ones who are immune, and we understand not only does Shikamaru know they're the only ones who are immune to Ada's jutsu, but they're the only ones who are beating the same conversation as well. So everything is just playing in its course, and everything is just eventually forcing Shikamaru, no matter how much he tries to look away or how much he tries to oppose. Like, yes, you have to confront and you have to actually talk to Boruto to see how things are actually going down. But I'm excited to see how chapter 6 actually lays out. And like I said, bro, Boruto, me, and Shikamaru, like, that's top 3 things on my list of must see in terms of the upcoming events of the series, upcoming events of the future chapters. I'm really looking forward to it. Chapter 6 dropping in a few days. Stay tuned for more spoiler updates in regards to cover pages, in regards to more context behind dialogues. Until then, holla at you, I'ma holla at y'all. Black Chat out. Yes, sir. Ski.
Hey, can we take a trip to the sky? Show them that our limit's too high.
Cocoa butter hips on the wristlet. She said